Hey y'all. Happy Thursday. Oh, wait a minute. Why is my thing showing up? Hold on one sec. Hi, bet. Hey y'all. Uh-oh. Happy Thursday. Hold on. I think I'm showing up private. Oh no, we're public. Hey y'all. Let me know if you can hear me. I think you can hear me because I just heard myself come back in. But let me know if you can hear me. Happy Thursday. I hope your day is going well, y'all. We have another segment of the marriage, faith, and love series. And I'm super excited to bring to you another couple who have become friends of mine. Y'all seen them. Well, y'all seen her. Y'all seen her. Now y'all finna see her boo. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if we're all good. And let me know where you're watching from. Be sure as you come on to like the video, share it with a friend, kick off your shoes, relax your feet, get your favorite blanket, get you some snacks because tonight is gonna be fantastic. If y'all enjoyed the series so far, let me know in the chat. Have y'all enjoyed the series? Have y'all enjoyed watching the couples tell their love stories? For me, I got the little tingle tangles, you know what I'm saying? Listening to them celebrate their love, reminisce, and it has really encouraged me on in the journey. So I can't wait to introduce you all to our next guest, our next couple, our next married couple, because they have become near and dear friends to me. And so um hold on. I don't want to belabor y'all time. We just gonna go ahead and hop on in. Y'all, tonight. Y'all seen her before. Y'all seen her. She be in the chat, typing away, right? Nikki. Y'all know Nikki on the channel. But who you don't know is her husband. And so I couldn't wait to bring this couple together because their story, their marital story is truly one of redemption, second chances, and it has blessed me. Hey Serena, thank you. Serena from the land. Hey girl, hey Janae. Come on in, like the video. But their story has really encouraged me, the bits and pieces that I know. And so I'm going to be getting some of this live tea tonight along with y'all. So without further ado, hey, Dr. Natasha, I want to introduce you all to Marcel and Nikki Gillespie. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Look at them. Ain't they so cute?
Oh my gosh.
Ain't they cute? Nikki and Marcel,
Hello.
I'm so excited to share the platform with you all. I couldn't wait. You know, when I was thinking about the series, I don't remember when I asked you, Nikki, but I said, I think y'all should come on. Like, I think y'all should tell the story. Because, you know, when Nikki and I first met, I feel like she told me bits and pieces of the story when we first met on Zoom, and Marcel was in the background too.
Co-signing.
As
Co-signing.
always, as always.
And the whole time I was like, oh, what? Huh? Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like this really great story. And I was like, wow, I feel like more people should hear this story because it is truly one of God's grace. And, you know, I am just super excited for y'all to share your story and everything y'all have going on. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast. Oh, it's not the podcast. Agreeing to come on the platform to share y'all's marriage story with us.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for having us.
Yeah.
The fact that you got this man in front of a camera.
You got me on camera.
I know. Today the first time I ever seen Marcel. I've ever seen Marcel. I'm like, I've never seen this man outside of a photo. So I got him on up here. So that is the Lord's work right there.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. And let us see these cute shirts y'all got going on. Renewed love. I love it. I love it. So, all right. Let's introduce yourselves. Introduce yourselves to the audience individually.
Gosh, who are we individually? Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Nikki, also known as the business coach and now the renewed love coach. So yay. Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm Marcel, along with the business coach. I have a web design company, faith-based clothing company.
Yeah, we have that. We have about seven businesses between
yeah.
the two of us. So
Serial
we'll be here all
entrepreneur,
night.
Yeah.
doing kingdom work together.
Amen.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you know why we're here. We wanna hear the tea. We wanna hear like how this came about. So let us know, how did y'all first meet? Well, first of all, what age did y'all meet at? And then let us know how y'all first met, because that mattered.
About 16, 17, somewhere around there. Yeah, yeah. We originally met on Black Planet. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Black Planet. Yeah.
Black Planet. Yeah. This is pre-MySpace, baby. So we dating ourselves right now, but yes.
Oh, I had a Black Planet page.
Okay. Yeah, that was a time.
Black Planet. I was actually Black Planet friends with his best friend, and he saw me and slid into my DMs before sliding into DMs was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what happened.
So y'all meet at 16, 17. And when did y'all, because this is a whole lot of story. So at what age did y'all get married? Tell us about this. No, I'm going ahead of myself because I'm excited. Tell me how Marcel proposed to you.
Which time?
Right.
Oh, let me back up. Yes, there's 2 points, y'all. If y'all don't know, if y'all didn't read my email, they were married, got divorced, and then remarried. And now have been married for...
This time around, we're turning 8 in May.
Wow. Okay. So let's back that thing up juvenile style. Y'all meet at 17. Tell us about the relationship, and then tell us, how he proposes the first time.
So the relationship, when we first met each other, what most people don't know and don't think when they think of me, I'm very introverted. So when we first met, I'm a beast behind the keyboard. But when you get me in front of you, I'm nervous. Now in my older age, it's not as bad. But back then, it was nerve-wracking. So he invited me to come meet him. And I'm there. I bring my homegirl with me, so she could talk to his best friend at the time. Okay. And I'm sitting there, and just like we are sitting right now, and I'm looking at this camera, he's talking to me over here, but I'm staring straight ahead. Hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. No conversation, no nothing.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
The whole time, I'm thinking, did I do something wrong? Say something wrong?
No, it's a me thing. So I'm super nervous. Anxiety is through the roof. We chit chat. I thought I blew it. I was like, he's never going to want to talk to me. Like, you were super weird. And that wasn't the case. From that moment on, we were inseparable. So We're 17. We're seniors in high school. We went to different high schools. But we're seniors in high schools. He takes me to prom night. He's like, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?
On prom night?
Prom night. He's 18 by that time. I'm still 17 on prom night. So that is the first engagement. I knew I didn't want to be one of those people that got married at 17, 18. I wanted us to get to know each other, spend some time together. We knew we were going to be together, but let's not rush this. Like,
okay,
let's
let me
go to
pause
college.
You. Uh-huh. How long after dating, after y'all meet, is this engagement happening?
We met in 2001, towards the end of the year, and June 2002 is when he proposed.
Yeah.
So not long at all.
Not long at all.
Okay, Marcel said, I won't waste it.
I wanted her.
Go ahead, Nick. Okay.
So we wanted to have a decent enough time, like I said, to get to know each other. We weren't in a rush, that kind of thing. So we were engaged for about 5.5 years before we even got married. What? So we essentially grew up together. We're in our early 20s. We get married the first time in May of 2007.
Okay.
Recently joins the military.
Okay.
At the beginning of 2007. We had enough time to get married in May.
Okay.
June, he's off to boot camp. I don't see him until August for graduation boot camp after he graduates from the Navy. And he's off again. I see him for like 2 days in Chicago. He's off to go to school for his job in the military.
Okay, pause. Marcel, what's going on? You just married this woman and you go off to boot camp. What is going through your mind? What are you thinking? What's going on?
At that time, I was just happy to be with her. I was like, we're just married. I have a stable job to, provide for her at that time. That's the only thing that was going through my head at that time.
Yeah.
It was, I just needed to seal it. So
yeah. y'all only saw each other 2 times, two days after marriage. Okay.
It was a little bit longer than 2 days, probably like a week, because you left that next month. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
A week. So y'all were married, newlyweds, a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we got married May 26th and he was off in June, I think towards the beginning of June.
Okay. Let's pick it up.
So we see each other in August. He graduates. He's there for a month or so, month and a half. We see each other towards the end of August. He's off to school in Florida. So I see him for 2 days, a weekend. He's shipped off to Florida for 2.5 months. I don't see him again until December. And it's like, hey, by the way, we're moving to San Diego. Keep in mind, we're in Michigan at this time. So we're traveling clear across the world. And we haven't spent any time married. No honeymoon, no nothing. We're gone.
Wow. Okay. So y'all don't. Okay.
Right.
Just try to wrap your
head around that.
I never heard this part of the story. Okay.
You're married for 6 months or so, and you can literally count how many days you've spent together, and it's not a lot.
Yeah.
So we're thrusted into this new lifestyle. Neither one of us I had a distant relative that was in the military, but neither one of us knew how military life works or anything like that. And then, so he's off to school. He's off to boot camp, off to school. We just got married. We're grieving the death of our child still, because we did have a child shortly after we got together, and our child had passed away. So we're dealing with that. We're dealing with anxiety. We're dealing with being thrusted into this whole entire new lifestyle. And now you're telling me we need to move clear across the world. To me, it was the world. Right. Yeah. And so we get to San Diego, December 7th, 2007. And January, he's deployed. We get there. We're homeless, because the military said they were going to hook us up, and they didn't hook us up. So again, not knowing the lifestyle, what needed to take place before moving and all of these things, we're homeless. So we're living out of a motel for a month and a half, and then he's deployed.
And he's still in the motel?
We had just got our apartment, but he wasn't there to help move everything. Yeah. I'm doing it all. I'm in a new place, new city, new state. Yeah. No idea what I'm doing. Okay. Still a newlywed.
Right.
Thrusted into this lifestyle. So he's deployed what was supposed to be 4 months, which turned into 6, which then turned into 7.
Okay. So majority of the first time around, you all were not in the same place at all. So how long did the first marriage last?
On paper, it was
for a good 3 years.
Yeah,
I think.
3 years.
Tell me on paper.
Meaning
before the divorce actually got finalized.
Right. Yeah.
So was it the distance that kind of led to the divorce?
It had a portion to do with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all, y'all get married. He's gone majority of the time because of military. Life is life, and you all are grieving, and you all file for divorce. Tell me, what are you all thinking at this moment individually? What's going on inside of each? What's going on? Take us back to that moment.
Well, let's back up a little bit to how we got in that position to think about even going through divorce.
Okay.
From my end, where my head was at, I was like you said, we're in a new place, new experiences. I'm out in the middle of the water with knowing nobody. I did get close to a woman that was, I guess you could say, I worked with her, which led to infidelity. Um, it wasn't supposed to last past anything. Me getting back from deployment,
Mm-hmm.
it did. um, Nikki ended up finding out about it, and then we went to marriage counseling. We signed up for marriage counseling. Um, and even in that, it was my thinking of doing it.
Yeah, it
But
was his suggestion. Let's go to marriage. What can I do to save my marriage?
Yeah, right.
Do you want to try marriage counseling?
Right.
And sure, let's see what happens.
So in my twisted mind at that time, it wasn't going enough fast. It wasn't going fast enough for me. She wasn't processing. I'm like, I can't do it. I thought she would have been healed by now, at least working towards the healing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my wrong thinking. It was just
like hurry up and get over it.
Yeah. So it was.
Keep in mind, counseling was a month and a half before he made that decision.
Marcel, we're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He was young. We were young.
We're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You may deserve the doubt back then, but we okay, so a month and a half, you like, hurry up. We should be past this because I'm past it. Nikki, where you at?
I am devastated because, like I said, 2002, we had a child, lost our son. 2005, my mom dies at the age of 47. So I hadn't finished grieving my child before losing my mom. And my mom was like, that was my best friend. I'm an only child. I'm a mama's girl. That was my heart. She's 47. I thought I had way more years. You know what I'm saying? And so to then have this blow on top of it. And we were talking yesterday about it, and we likened it to like a Jenga block, like they're stacked on top of each other. And it was like one thing after another, like child, lost a child, mom, lost a mom, moved, military, all of these things happening. And it was just that one day when you move it, the whole thing comes tumbling down. And that was it. Wow. It was, okay, we're doing this counseling, we're going through the process. And then for him to make the decision of, I can't do this anymore, it just left me like, what did I do? Because God, why is all of this happening? Why did I have to go through all of this grief? And essentially losing my marriage was me grieving. That was a part of grief. He didn't die or anything of that nature, but that's still a loss. And that's still something that needs to be grieved.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most tumultuous times of my life. Mm-hmm. And even like thinking about it now, going back and replaying and remembering some of those things was like, how did you get through, girl?
Wow. Yeah, literally. How? The grace of God.
The grace of God, because thank God I don't look like what I've been through, because baby.
Yeah, okay. So Marcel, I want to throw it back to you. So you're like, hurry up. We should be over this thing. I can't do this anymore. But did you have any reservations? Or you were like, no.
Reservations as far as actually saying I couldn't do it anymore?
Yeah, I know it could have been like this knee-jerk reaction, like I'm frustrated, I can't do it. But did you go back and forth a little bit?
I did for a little bit. Okay. I did. I think we had talked about it last night. There was because we were communicating back and forth during this time, and we're together, but what, 7 years total at the time?
It was like 6.5, almost 7 years.
And the feelings just don't instantly go away. I had to make the story up that they did to sever it, but it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah. Okay. So we get to this point. We're in marriage counseling. Look, I'm saying we're in marriage counseling. We decide to get this divorce. Marcel, I'm assuming you filed for the divorce. How long were y'all divorced? And so then what happens after divorce?
After the divorce,
Life after divorce.
Life after
yeah,
divorce.
I the woman that I was having an affair with, I actually went and married. Well, before I got married to her, I was still dating her at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. 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 All right.
Uh-huh.
Life after divorce.
yeah. But I was having a tough time. I was
Really?
having a tough, yeah, yeah.
Did you feel
Things
like
weren't
you made a
coming.
mistake?
Definitely,
Okay. But you was
definitely,
10 toes down in, you gotta see it through, my boy.
Got to see it through.
yeah, yeah.
You be laughing
uh,
about it now. It's funny now.
yeah,
Pride.
yeah. It was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot of pride. It was a lot of pride. It was tough. It
Yeah.
was tough. The biggest, as I say now, the biggest mistake in my life. So,
Yeah.
um, not even in the leaving, it was the direction I went afterwards.
Okay.
So,
It's
yeah,
an interesting direction.
yeah.
Okay. Nikki, life after divorce. Where you at, girl?
Life after divorce is because the counseling for he and I was over. I asked, "Can you still see me? Because your girl got issues. Can we work this thing out one on one?" And she agreed. And so life after divorce was healing for me. It was me finding out who I am. It's me finding out what type of woman I am.
Mm,
Um, and how the circumstances and situations that I've gone through don't define me. They are
mm,
just a chapter in my beautifully written story. And so it was a lot of soul searching. It was a lot of pulling up roots. It was a
yeah.
lot of that. One of the things I had said was uh, I took I believe I was a detective in a former life. And so, with that being said, I knew everything that was going on in his life. He knew and made sure he knew
You was
nothing about
stalking
what
him.
was going on. Girl,
Legends, I mean, call a spade a spade. You was
girl.
Inspector
It
Gadget.
wasn't even necessarily me stalking. Yes, there was some of that, but there was other people providing me information. Like, dude is miserable. You know this, right? That's his
Like
bed.
you could
He
look at
chose to make that.
you could look at pictures from then, and you can see it in my
Oh,
face.
100%.
Really? You couldn't even like
100%.
fake the funk.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
you was committed to the path.
Fortunately, unfortunately.
Mhm. Unfortunately, right.
And and okay, so you are going in a different direction, Marcel. You're in this place where you're like, I have made a mistake, but I'm gonna keep going down this road. Nikki, are you in this place of hot girl summer?
Oh
Or
yeah, for sure. It was like, okay, that wasn't it, but who it? Let's
not
let's
that
let's be out here. The
how we
streets
be
was
like
calling
that?
my name.
How we
Okay.
be like that? Just finna go on in the ditch.
Girl, I was
What?
all the way in that ditch. Do you hear me? And committed to the ditch. Like,
Come out
okay,
the
the
ditch.
streets is calling my name. Let's go. We out
Oh,
here.
so we in the ditch. But it turns into this season of healing.
Mhm.
How long were you all divorced?
I believe the divorce was
16.
finalized in 2010. So we didn't have any. So 2008 was when all of this took place. So keep in mind, we just had got married in 2007.
Okay.
So not much time spent together. 2008, he was gone. The divorce was actually finalized in 2010, but we had very limited
Very
contact
much.
during that time.
Very.
It was like maybe an email here, email there, come get your stuff, leave me alone kind of situation. And then it was nothing. So the
Mm.
totality of us being separated and divorced was 6.5 years. And then, and then,
And then,
and then,
oh, we're waiting for the next part. That what you were gonna get something.
right.
Okay.
Now the next part.
Okay. Marcel, are you thinking about Nikki during this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
You know,
you still committed.
still committed. It was like little bits and pieces of like memories we had, experiences we had. So it
Just
was
like that.
like I said, it was tough.
Yeah. And so, Nikki, I know you was on your hot girl and holy girl at the same time. Were you, because you had to be thinking somewhere for y'all to be here now. You know what I mean? You just don't go from point A to point B. So, or were you still thinking after you had healed and gotten some space and, you know, gained some clarity around some things, were you still like, man?
Keep in mind, there was no closure.
Yeah.
There was a moment it was a month and a half, so in August of 2008, where we were going to go away. We were going to go away for the weekend. We're going to try to reconnect, like talk some things out, take some of the tools that we learned from therapy, you know, implement them and things of that nature. This was a Friday. He had did a overnight shift, meaning he was at work all night, and we were going to leave when he came home. He never came back home. And so I had no closure. It was, I can't do this anymore, the end.
What you
And
mean he
so
never came back home?
he never came back home.
Marcel.
Bad decisions. Bad decisions.
Oh my God. So you feeling all the feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know why my marriage is over. I knew what took place, but I didn't know what was going on in his mind, what he's thinking about, or anything of that nature. So during that time of separation and divorce, me healing was me trying to get my own closure instead of making up my own ideology of what happened, my own narrative of what took place.
Because we try to piece it together.
Because we do. That's what we do. And so, no, I did not think about him until I started thinking about him. And that was the God thing, because God kept telling me, reach out to him. Yeah. You need to reach out to him. No, sir, this cannot be the voice of God. Devil, I rebuke you. This ain't it. I know it's not it. Yeah. And it happened for almost an entire year, off and on. I just kept, and I was very much so disobedient. During that time in 2013, I managed to meet the other woman. And don't put your head down. We had a conversation. During that conversation, she informed me of some things. And it was a interesting moment. It was then where I understood why God wanted me to reach out to him. So I have a little bit of I wouldn't say regret, but a little bit of like, what would have been had you reached out?
Yeah.
Literally a year almost to the date that I met her and we talked, she had told me some things like, hey, this, that, and the third is going on with Marcel. And I was like, okay, again, detective, did my research, found out. And immediately God was like, do it now. Like, you need to reach out to him now. And I remember sending him an email. And I specifically said, hey, I know I'm the last person you would ever expect to hear from, but I just want you to know you have someone praying for you. The end.
Wow, that's a God. That's the real.
Really, it couldn't be nothing but God.
That's the real safe God response. Okay, Marcel, you get this email. You in this tough spot. You ain't happy. You're going through. Life is life, man. You get this email from Nikki. What's going on?
The first sentence in her email was my exact thought. She was the exact last person I expected to hear from.
Like, you right, girl.
100%.
Yeah, but I needed it. You know, I was family, friends, they had all disconnected from me. I was just at a low point. I know that God knew I needed that.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't know what direction things were going in at that moment in time with me and Nikki.
Yeah.
But it felt good that she even reached out to me.
She was she was even willing to establish contact. Yeah.
I don't think I responded to it. It was like 2 weeks, maybe
2.5 weeks. Todd, I was
Excuse
good. I said what I said, and that was it. I didn't expect a response. I said what I said. That was it. Do with it what
and
you
what he
will.
respond back?
You're right. You're the last person I expected to reach out, but I'm glad you did.
I don't remember what else I said.
I don't remember what else you said, but that was for sure. It was a long email, that was for sure. But yeah, that was the first part of it for sure.
Okay, so this is the beginning of a new chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all reach out. I imagine there is lots of healing and forgiveness, and let's go over everything like in Adele, hello, it's me. You know,
Right.
Right.
I was wondering if you had
I was wondering.
right.
Yeah.
And so you all are on this journey because you are not strangers, but you are strangers now because there's been so much time that has passed. And so let's talk about the willingness to reconnect. I know we said it was a God thing, but you still had to be willing to walk this path to get to this point of being about almost 8 years. So tell me how y'all overcame, because I know there was reservations. I know there was
100 it was.
I know there were hurdles that you all had to, it was probably some scratching and fighting and you, because we never got that feeling. So take us to that moment when you all are reconnecting and we like, okay, I miss you. We over that. Now the real happens. Tell us about that process of forgiveness.
So originally there was no I miss you, come back, all of that. There was on my part. Let me speak for me. I just found out yesterday that he was open to reconnecting. I didn't know that to begin with. I was good. I was good. He asked to meet me. We met face to face. I was like, I gave him a hug. There was nothing there for me. I said, yes,
nothing.
thank you, Jesus.
Fully healed, delivered.
Full delivered with a T, baby. I was good. Okay.
Wow.
There was nothing there. And we talked. We met at Panera Bread. I love me some Panera. Had a great conversation, 2 hours worth of conversation. He asked me, had I gone to church yet? I said no. He said, can we go? And I was like,
no, you ain't pull that player move, Marcel.
No, that was all real.
I said, oh, okay, sure. And the church I was going to at the time had like 5 different services. So we go to church, he meets some of my friends, and they're like, oh my God, I just love him. He's so nice, so sweet. Okay.
They know that y'all have history though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And always when we were broken up, even when I had to share my story, my thing was Marcel is an amazing man. He will give you the shirt off his back. He's super intelligent, super sweet, super nice, but he made some really stupid decisions. And I stood by that. We have all made stupid decisions in our lives. And it was that night we ended up going back out to eat. It was that night he walks me to the door, and it was a totally hopeless romantic rom-com type of situation. Looks at me, walks me to my door, gives me a hug, walks away, and then walks back, grabs my face, and plants the biggest kiss on me. And I'm like,
not the courage. Look at Marcel. I did it.
And I don't even know where it came from.
Me neither. I spent a good week being like, God, what is this? What is happening? What are you doing? What's going on? Because there was nothing. At the end of the day,
Until there was something.
Until there was something. But it was nothing to begin with.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we made the decision that if we're going to even be friends, even at the lowest level of just being your friend, we need to go through this process of healing together. Yeah. We had a child, so that is something that we never talked about growing up. We didn't really deal with the grief. He had his own relationship with my mother. They needed to be talked about and dealt with. Plus his childhood trauma, my childhood trauma that we kind of just brought into a situation together. A lot of things needed to be healed. And if we chose whether we went path A or path B, we still needed to heal. and we
Yeah.
still needed to get closure around a lot of
Yeah.
things. So that was ultimately what we decided to do. We decided to go back to counseling, give it a shot, and really do the work that it takes to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And through that is where God met us, forgiveness,
Oh.
a lot of healing, a lot of closure, a lot of understanding, who we were then compared to who we are now, or who we were then in 2014 when we reconnected.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of work. It wasn't an easy process. It took a while. And in January 1st, New Year's Day, 2016, we were at our godparents' house, our spiritual parents' house.
Wait, we're going too fast.
Oh, sorry.
I imagine that this whole reconnecting process took a lot of courage from both people.
Mm-hmm.
Marcel, can you talk about like some of maybe, did you have any like reservations this time around? How did you deal with Nikki potentially being very resistant, because we can say, yes, I'm ready and I'm willing, but when we get into that process, that hurt shows on up, right? So how did you deal with maybe those moments of, one, realizing that you had potentially, hurt her in the past, but also forgiving yourself for that, and also dealing with this woman in the new space, moving forward?
It took a lot for me to forgive myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was maybe a few years ago that I actually fully forgave myself for it.
Wow.
But I was willing to push through it, and no matter excuse me, no matter how hard I had to fight for it, I was willing to do it. Because I knew she was the love of my life.
Yeah.
She was my best friend. Yeah.
Right.
But I was willing to stand in there and take it.
Yeah.
So
and I gave him a lot, baby.
I know you gave him the flu flops, the woo after bam,
all of it, girl.
the main nods, all the things. But I want you to talk a little bit more, Marcel, about the process of forgiving yourself, because sometimes we don't hear enough men speak about that process. And if you could just give voice to your process, like what did that look like for you? Yeah, we're listening.
it was a lot of prayer. It was a lot of alone time, listening to God, hearing from God. It was being constantly in prayer,
Yeah.
Because forgiveness honestly is for the others. It's not for you. It was me and wanting to be there for my wife. Well, not at that point. You were my wife then, but
yeah. I was your boo then.
But it was just doing the work. Praying, being alone. In my alone time.
Yeah.
It's needed. It's needed.
And he also went through his own therapy too. Yeah. So we had therapy together, but then he also went through his own therapy as well. So taking those lessons and like really fleshing those thoughts and tools and tips out to kind of get to this point of, I need to learn how to forgive myself in order for other people to forgive me. If I'm expecting her to forgive me, I have to first learn how to forgive myself.
And I think that even if we don't forgive ourselves, that then we could potentially start to sabotage, right? Mm-hmm. Because the other person is like, no, I'm willing to move forward, but you're still giving yourself that whooping. I don't deserve it. And then potentially sabotaging the relationship. And that's why I wanted to, talk about that, because we sometimes do that subconsciously, right? I'm not worthy. I don't really deserve this, though I want it, right? So y'all in therapy, y'all fighting, Nikki, you are getting the closure and the answers,
and getting mad all over again
because you're thinking about it.
You've been all over again, ready to throw bows. Okay, like let's go.
You're ready to fight all over because now I remember. You didn't open the wound. Now I remember.
Mhm.
Marcel, you sitting there like, yeah. Almost maybe feeling like you got to take it.
Pretty much. I
Feel
was
like
the one that caused it, so.
yeah, but you took ownership and accountability,
Yeah.
and I think that is important, right? And so y'all have, so tell us, how long did y'all know each other again the second time before y'all get to this remarriage part?
It was a matter of
2 years.
2 years. 2.5 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it was a process.
It was in 2014 when we reconnected, September of 2014 when we reconnected. And from that point, probably like October-ish, we went through a whole year and some change. And even still, like of therapy, of healing, all of that.
Yeah. Because I can imagine. Yeah, and anybody still, marriages need therapy. Individuals need therapy
100%.
ongoing. You know, you never make it. It's always a good idea. Okay. Don't say that. Because I see mine every 2 weeks. Anyway.
100%, baby. Listen.
Okay, so we get to this point. We're at this forgiveness point. Y'all have a lot of courage. Y'all like, Marcel, like, I want to try it again. Marcel, take us to that moment where you decide that I'm gonna propose to her again.
It. I think that was another level of courage because it went from the whole dating and everything all over again to taking that step to proposing and being married again. I had to think about that for a long time. I was like, okay, all right.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think where were we at? We were at a godparents' house on New Year's Eve. Yeah. And I don't think I actually planned to do it then. I was making steps to do it, but not right then and there. And I think it was times that I always had the ring with, just in case it, one of those moments came up.
Stay ready.
And
I didn't. Right, I guess so. Stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready.
Get ready.
Yeah, that was my thought process behind it. And I think some close friends and family over that night.
12 o'clock,
12
New
o'clock,
Year's Day.
12 o'clock.
How we do it? How we do it? You got to give us the tea now. Don't go hold back.
Everybody was counting. We're doing the countdown. Get to one. Everybody's Happy New Year's, and that's when I dropped to my one knee, and I was like, I'm ready to do this again. I'm ready to do it. Yeah.
And Nikki, because you over here cheesing at this point. Nikki, what's going on? What's happening? You like Happy New Year?
Right. So we're all like Happy New Year hugging. Like our spiritual parents are worshipers. So we had like a whole night where we crying, spitting, and farting on the floor and just like worshiping God and just all of this stuff. And that's how we brought in the new year. And it was a few friends and their kids, and just like it was a group of us. Yeah. And so we're like hugging, and then all of a sudden he just drops down, but everybody else is still hugging each other. Nobody's paying attention. And I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, like where'd Marcel go?
Right. And so he does it. Of course, I say yes, I'm crying. And then somebody's like, wait, did he just propose? So then they made him do it again. While everybody was quiet so they can hear.
Man, we so cheesy. So you say yes. July 1st. What year we at?
No, this was January 1st.
January, I'm sorry.
2016.
So January 1st, 2016. Y'all decide to remarry. We're going to try it again. For real this time. Adults, we are healed. We're in a different place. We're maybe out of this place of grieving. Are there still any reservations though?
100%.
Okay. Tell me
100%.
Where are the reservations coming from at this point?
For me, the reservation was, if I do this again, what's going to stop it from me going through another divorce or going through another pain or going through more infidelity, etc. Do I really want to go down this road? Yes, I love him. Yes, he's my best friend. Yes, I care deeply for him. But do I want the potential risk of this happening again.
Mm-hmm.
That was my reservation.
Okay. Marcel.
Initially.
I feel like my reservation was from if Nikki wanted to hurt me in the same way that I did to her.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So it was for a minute it stayed in the back of my mind, and after a while I was like, "This is us. We're good. We can't do this. We can't go down the same road, by either way." So.
Wow. So you were fearing that she's gonna get me back.
Right.
And rightfully so.
And she was.
You were thinking.
But thank the Lord for the Lord.
Thank God for Jesus. Because he snatched you on up.
You snatched me on up. I still had a little bit of that street in me, like the streets.
Because I know that feeling. Mm-hmm. Right. And I tell the story about when I got cheated on back, mm-hmm. 2019. And I said, in my mind, I'm gonna get you back. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a vengeful person. So I knew I was in dangerous territory.
Dangerous territory, yeah, for sure.
Even think. I'm about to get you, sucker.
100%. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, let's pause. Let's do a little more work. Let's walk this out. Why are you feeling like this? What's showing up? All the things that, therapy talks about. Mm-hmm. But it was gonna get him back.
Mm-hmm. But thank God for Jesus. Hallelujah.
Thank God for Jesus.
Hello, because we wouldn't have been here today.
And I think that needs to be talked about more. Like, that's real. That's our humanism, right? Like, I'm hurt. You hurt me. And now I thought the wound was closed, and now it has been reopened. And now I'm dealing with these emotions and these feelings all over again. Yeah, I want to get you back. Of course.
Because now you done played in my face. Mm-hmm. And now I got to play in your face. Right. So we even.
So you got to know how it feels. And what we didn't say was, even in our first time around, there was infidelity on both parts. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you did this? Okay, cool. I got you.
Say less.
Say less. Right. I got you.
I know how that is. I had a few. Back in the day, I had a few of those. Oh, you cheat on me? All right, well, don't worry about it.
Right. Don't worry about it.
Oh, Jesus. We thank God for maturity. Okay.
100%.
Some people still out here doing it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So y'all get engaged again for the second time. You finna be a Gillespie again.
A Gillespie again, yes.
A Gillespie again.
Well, I wasn't a Gillespie the first time. That's probably what happened because I never changed my name over. Oh. This time he was like, "Oh no, you're going."
We ain't finna play with you.
I was like, "Can I hyphenate? Because my business." And he was like, "Well, I'll give you the hyphenation, but this time you're getting it.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it." Two are becoming one, ma'am.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
So you all get engaged. How long is the engagement at this point?
Girl, we were married by May of the same year.
Okay, not long. Like, what we waiting for?
Not long.
Right.
What are we doing?
If we're gonna do it, let's just do it.
Wow. Okay, so y'all get remarried and it's May. Do y'all get a honeymoon this time?
No. Still on my honeymoon. No.
We gotta get on a honeymoon.
We have to get a honeymoon. So our anniversary is May 6th, which is 3 days before his birthday. Okay. We still have yet to determine who was the person that decided to set that date because
we just went with it.
It's a really crazy time during the first week of May.
Yeah.
So I don't know who did that.
It's our anniversary, my birthday, which also falls every 4 years. Falls on Mother's Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. Anyhow, so no, we didn't. We did go celebrate your birthday. We did go out of town, kind of. We went like maybe an hour away, but we didn't do a real honeymoon. Like we took some time to celebrate our union, and celebrate his birthday. But yeah, so.
Okay, we gonna get to our honeymoon. Okay, so y'all get married again, and because this is really a story of redemption, right? And That's why I was so drawn to it, because I don't see a lot of redemptive stories. I don't see a lot of people able to forgive, have the emotional intelligence or bandwidth or and people who just sometimes we're just unwilling to partner with God and agree.
Mhm.
Right. And something that was really clear was, Nikki, you had to obey and say something in order for y'all to get to this point. And
Yeah.
at 8 years, coming up on 8 years.
Yes,
8
ma'am.
years.
So tell us about the second time around. Second time around. I can sing a song tonight.
I love it. I do the same thing.
She does.
Just random songs. Yeah. So remarried, trying to navigate life again because I've been single for 6.5, almost 7 years. I'm setting my ways. I don't need you to open the doors for me. I don't need your money. I don't need
You're an
this.
independent
Like,
woman.
yeah, because you're not about to mess me over again for a
Yeah.
second time, you know?
Right.
And so walls were still up. Hard exterior was still up, even though the work had been done, even though we were still going through counseling. You don't understand until you're in that situation.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. Everything will be gravy, and till it's not, you know, until you're thrusted into a situation. And now I got to figure out how to redo life, not only with another person, but with the same person. How do I redo life with this same person? Yes, we've changed. Yes, we've grown. Yes, we've matured. But ultimately, he's still Marcel. How do I get to do life with this person? And so it was a lot of still more counseling, more therapy.
Yeah.
Like, who is this man? How do I navigate being a wife again when I have not been a wife for a very long time?
But you didn't get a chance to really do it the first time.
Exactly.
Nikki, tell me how you rose to the occasion.
God in therapy,
Mm.
and a couple of glasses of wine. I just like real talk, like God therapy, and a couple of glasses of wine. I had to learn how to step outside of myself. I understood very early on, if we were to do this, this was not just for me and him. It's not about me anymore. Because now we have a testimony. Now we have a story. Now we have a ministry. Now we have work to do in the kingdom.
Yeah.
And I was very clear on that.
Yeah.
And in that clarity, I also had a lot of fear around that. Because
you can be clear and scared too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that is the best way that I can say that. Even just as of recently, I remember I'm having a conversation with you, and you called me and you're like, you good? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, no, scared out of my mind. What's going on? What are we doing here? Like, and all of this time, 7+ years, I'm like, oh, we're good. Like, we know we got a story. We've shared our story before, but now God is calling us to higher heights.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this requires a different part of us that we don't know yet. This requires a different walk with you, God, when we don't know you like this yet. This is tough. This is hard. You know, stepping out. I thought I was introverted. This man here, man.
He said, baby,
if I could have did this by myself, right? If I could have did this whole interview by myself, he would have been fine. Like, just let me be on the couch. I'll watch you on TV. Like,
I'll chime in from the back.
Right, I'll chime in on the background. So, like, it really brought up, outside of things that we thought maybe were healed and that are not, it also allowed us to see where God is trying to take us and where we're becoming to, if that makes sense. We are both on this path together of loving each other in a different type of way, if that makes sense. Like, doing ministry work, doing this work for God is not about us. And so we have to put in practice the tools, the tips, the strategies, everything we've learned in counseling, where maybe we hadn't had an opportunity to put those things into practice. And now we have to, like, okay, does this really work? Let's try this out. What's going on. Yeah.
Marcel,
I
how did
forgot what the question was, but I hope I
rise
answered
to the occasion of being a wife this time?
it.
Marcel, I'm curious, how did you rise to the occasion of deciding to be her husband and to love her?
Just a redo, I know for sure that I didn't have any examples in my childhood of a healthy marriage. Um, and just a redo and doing it our way, having to do it our way, because it's not going to look like everybody else's marriage.
Yeah,
Because we have to do like societal norms and
yeah,
gender norms. We have to think outside of that and do our own thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
What works for your marriage may not work for somebody else's
exactly.
marriage, and vice versa. Like understanding who you're married to. I think that is really contingent on knowing your spouse. Who
yeah,
am I married to?
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So Marcel, I keep coming back to you. I love hearing from the husbands because the wives, we talking. Okay, we gonna keep.
For sure.
So, Marcia, I'm so intrigued by this story because, I think that, though you made some childish decisions in the past and you owned those decisions, and now you're in this place, now y'all are 8 years. Nikki has just shared like, hey, there was still some resistance, there was still some fear. Like, how do you love her through this continuous moments of healing? Tell us, how do you rise to the occasion for her?
Because I know this is a journey for us. This is a well not planned ride.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure. So it's going through those ebbs and flows. It's not going to be good all the time. We're gonna have those tough moments. Just how we rise up against them. Like you said, using those tools that we have in our toolbox.
So I imagine you have to be very selfless.
Very much so. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because based on the past, you have to be able to hold the tension as it may rise, even as y'all are stepping into the new, and God is making new demands of you. Like, how do you find the courage to rise to that moment, right? Because I know that Nikki can be strong, right? We strong presences, right? So what do you do to calm this lady?
I just let her do her thing.
Maybe let her come on,
No,
baby.
it's as you know, being on video camera, it's a little shaky for me, but
Yeah.
I knew that this was bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the guy was going to use us for good. So I just had to fight myself in that aspect. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than us. So somebody needs us. Somebody needs our story.
Yeah. And it's a fantastic story. My goal with this series was not to highlight perfect unions, but real life people in loving each other but still coming together to do kingdom work. Right. And it was so important for me to show a wide range of married couples, because I think sometimes in the faith we can have this imagination, this imaginative union. The angel's gonna come down and swoop and grab me by the collar like I'm footworking and bring me to my spouse. And this person's gonna be perfect and they're gonna have this thing. But then the moment we start to see those like problems crop up, we're like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me head on down. And I think in culture, and I say this to a lot of my friends, and because I'm probably one of the only single friends, I say like, yo, in the culture, you get one red flag and we out.
You out, yeah.
You out. There is no discussion. You take me to Cheesecake Factory. You can't go nowhere. Like, I like the brown bread at Cheesecake Factory. I'm not gonna that up. But we in culture, I think the culture is training people to be less tolerant.
Mhm.
And if you're going to be married, you're going to have to raise that tolerance level, and you're going to have to challenge yourself to go the long way, right?
100%.
And not just this short popcorn microwave, he make me feel good, he type situation.
We want the infatuation stage to last the duration of a marriage, and that's just unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Divorce is easy. It don't take nothing to go down to the poorhouse. It takes work to make your marriage work. And so you have to ask yourself continuously, am I in it for the fight? Am I in it for the long haul? Because the enemy doesn't want to see us married.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense that kingdom marriages end in divorce just as much as the world's marriages end in divorce. I think the numbers are neck and neck. Make it make sense.
We got the tool. We have the tools.
Allegedly. Make it make sense, right? So you gotta fight for your right
to be married.
To be married, exactly.
Okay. So we're married 8 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. I heard you all mention that Marcel, you're not a camera person. You ain't doing it. That ain't your thing, but you're here.
I'm here.
You're here. So tell us about this next phase of this marriage. Because it seems like y'all in a becoming one on another level situation. So tell us about this. What this look like?
Honestly,
it's on your shirt.
Renewed love.
What's renewed love? What's going on? What is that?
It's our ministry. You know, we're stepping out on faith, using us as a prime example of that. Marriage is here. You know, you have to do the hard work. You have to do the hard stuff to be married. You know, when people said marriage is hard, they were being honest. But are you willing to do the work to keep in that marriage?
Yeah.
So
it's hard, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
It is fun. It's an adventure. We always say marriage is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
Once you get married, life don't just stop. Yeah. Like now you have to journey with this person. Yeah. So it's a beautiful journey.
Yeah. And I think the institution of marriage is the most resilient institution that there is. And of course, we know that marriages are always under attack. But as believers, we have to learn how to persevere in everything. And I always tell people, like, you do hard things every day.
Every day.
Every day.
It sucks to get up and go to work in the morning, especially if you're not a morning person. Right. And then get to be at this job that you may or may not even like.
May or may not. And you do hard things every day, but sometimes we give up on, when we persevere, right? We move through those things, but when it comes to another person, we need each other, but we're willing to throw each other away, you know, when things get hard, when things get tough. So what, as y'all been married 8 years this time, what advice would y'all give? Let's go with the singles. Individually, I want Nikki, you speak to the women. Marcel, I want you to speak to the men. What advice would you give singles? Searching for marriage, desiring marriage, or maybe hopeless, in a place of hopelessness.
Should I go first when you think of your answer? I know. One of the things I would say is know who you are. As a woman, we wear lots of different hats. We are daughter, we're sister, we're friend, we're this, we're that, and the third. Who are you as God's daughter? What have you been purposed to do in this life? Know who you are and really take that time to learn. Life be lifing, right? So we understand that, but circumstances and experiences have shaped how you view yourself. And you want to start looking at yourself through the lenses of God's eyes. God, show me who I am. Show me what areas may need work. As you are waiting for your spouse to show up, as you are waiting for him to meet you at the grocery store or on Tinder, it don't matter. As you are waiting, ask God to prepare your heart to receive him. Because a lot of times the package that shows up does not look like what you thought it was going to look like.
Right.
Because if we talked about types, I'm not his type and he is not my type. And somehow we work. We here, okay?
So you got to get over the man or the woman you have in your mind. Break up
for
with it.
sure. And don't be so close-minded where you miss it, because again, he's not wrapped in the bow that you thought he was going to be wrapped in. But really working on your heart, really working on the inner you, the childhood trauma, the childhood drama, things that happened in your past that could potentially affect your relationship. You want to start healing and working on those things now so you can be a whole, complete woman when your husband shows up. Because one thing I don't like is that he completes me. No, ma'am, you were born complete.
Yeah.
God gave you everything you needed when you were born. Nobody's completing you. They're adding to you, but they're not completing you. So let's do the work now to heal. Let's do the work now to mature in areas where we're not mature in. And the only way to know that is asking God.
Okay.
I'm not preaching though.
Hey.
Pass the collection plate. We got a honeymoon to pay for it.
I will run.
You just took everything.
You did that.
You took all the prayers. Marcel, speak to the men. Speak to the young men. If you had to give them a piece of advice, being married, been through what you've been through, what would it be?
I'm trying to think now, because you just literally just being present with God, listening to God, preparing, like my wife said, preparing yourself, praying daily. You have to already be prepared to do that work and be in line with God before you can even think about taking on a wife or even a serious relationship. But just don't take a relationship lightly. It's serious. Just be present.
Yeah, because you're dealing with someone's heart and emotions and another human being, like common decency, man of God.
Common decency. One of the things he always says to me is like, every day God tells me that you're his daughter and you are his precious child. And I think when we start looking at each other as such, like, that's God's son, that's God's daughter. And there are certain things you do and don't do when you switch your mind to that.
Yeah.
One of the things we do when we are having a conflict in our marriage, where we about to go toe to toe, we take a minute and we'll grab an empty chair and we'll set the chair in the middle of our living room, and that's the seat for the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, you were invited into this conversation because you respond differently when you know God is in the
room. Because he's looking. You're aware he's looking.
Right. Now we know subconsciously, like all the time, like God is everywhere. He's all around us, da, 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 da. But when you intentionally set the atmosphere to invite him in, you respond and you act differently. I can't say what I would normally, or I would want, my flesh would want to say to him, because that's God's son and God is sitting right here in this room. Vice versa. He can't say what he may want to say to me. You show up differently. And a lot of times conflicts get handled. They get resolved in that moment. So, yeah.
Any couple thinking about divorce and you can provide them encouragement, what would it be?
You want this one? Or you want me to take it? Because I got some. I'm ready.
You both got it. Y'all both could tackle it.
Okay. So I would say, you want me to go first? Okay. I would say first and foremost, wait. Assess the situation, because we have to understand that your partner is not the enemy. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Your partner is not the enemy. He's your partner. She's your partner. She's your teammate. What has taken place to cause you to get to this route of wanting to go through divorce? I would pause and wait. Is this something that can be fixed? Now, unless you are getting abused, battered, and all of that,
Yeah.
Go, run for the hills. If that is not the situation, because again, like I said earlier, divorce is the easy way out. It takes nothing to print off some papers, sign your name, and submit it to the judge. That's the easy way out. But just like God, or just like Jesus fought for you, he fought for your salvation, he went through all that he went through and hung up on that cross to die for your sins. You can put in some work. He's giving you the capacity to put in the work to help your marriage, to heal your marriage, to resolve the issues that have taken place. And so I would say wait, assess the situation, pray, because a lot of times we act and respond out of our emotions, and it's not what God has called us to do. And if you are stepping into something or trying to step into something that God has not called for you, you do yourself more harm and a disservice than you do yourself good. So assess the situation, wait, assess, pray, and then go seek counseling if your partner is up for it. If your partner is not up for it, then you go by yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I like it. Marcel.
You have to fight. You have to do the work. I would even go past the praying and counseling. Do a reset. Do a reset.
I like
If
it.
you feel like if you could, it can be fixed by starting over again. Just do a reset. Have that set aside time to talk to each other. Communication is a big thing when you're doing going through situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't pull the trigger so fast. Just
Yeah.
sit to wait with it.
Yeah. Cause y'all, it ain't no love in these streets. This ain't where you want to be. This ain't where y'all want to be.
So like I done
Yeah.
seen several stories this week. Just no, I'm good.
If
we
y'all
gonna
have
work.
any questions for
This
the
work.
Gillespies, drop them in the chat if y'all have any questions for them. Um, y'all, this has been amazing. Because I think that we need to see the resilience of love, the resilience of individuals, right? You can come back from anything if you lay your pride down, if you're willing to give up your right to be hurt and, all the things like, yeah, you got it right, but how long you gonna hold on to that story, or how long are you gonna continue to nurse at the breast that thing because you feel like, okay, now I got the upper hand, right? And you know, I've never heard a redemption story like this. And it's really I don't know what season I'm in because I be crying a lot. But it's really beautiful to see an example of people being willing to love one another past old hurt and not throw people away, whatever reason. Now we all have our cap, we all have our ceiling, we all have our thing. We're like, nope, I can't do it no more, right? Can't take no more. But if it's not that I can't take no more, it can come back if you want it, right? If you're willing to fight for it, and you do have to fight, and you may have to exercise a different muscle than you had to do before the issue had, came about. But it is possible. Janae says, how do you support each other when the other is feeling down? I like it. I like it. I like it.
I think I think for me, when I know that you're down about something, I'll bring it to her attention. I'm like, hey, I noticed something ain't right. I want to sit down and talk about it. Just giving her my undivided attention, even if because not a lot. I still work a 9 to 5. Even if it's after a long day of work for me, I'm sitting here with her. If it's not her pouring her heart out, it was about what's going on, letting her work through the process of if she's having like there's something wrong with something you're putting together, processing it, talking it out with, just being there. And I also another step, like when we go to bed, if she goes to sleep before me, I'm rubbing her back, praying for her every night. Yeah,
he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Man.
He does.
Quicken.
For me, we used to have our first time around, it was so like crazy to me. It was crazy and wild where he would be even when you were deployed, he would call me and be like, "Hey, are you good? I'm sensing that you're like something's going on." And I'd be like, "How do you know that? How do you do that?" Like, it was wild to me. He could always like feel me, and I would feel him. And so this time around, I think just because we know each other, it's that level of familiarity where I can discern like what he needs in that moment. Usually I'm praying like, okay, God, what can I do? Is this a talking moment, or is this a he just needs me to be present moment? Also knowing love languages, right? His is physical touch and quality time. If I'm just present in the same room, he's good, you know? In moments of when he's sad or when he's depressed or when he's stressed or when there's a lot going on, just that reassurance to know that I'm here if and when you're ready to talk, because we understand that most men are not talkers. And so creating that space to say, hey, if you need to talk, I'm here. Just let me know and I will close whatever I'm doing and you will have my undivided attention. So just letting that person know, I often let them know, like, I'm here to support you, whatever you need. You're not in this by yourself. What can we do? Is there something I need to take off your plate or whatever? Just being flexible in that area.
I love it. I love it. You have to know your partner.
You do.
Definitely.
100%.
Because, some people just don't, I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm. Right. Head stuck up in the clouds. You can't be in the clouds, baby. Come on down.
What do you mean you didn't know this?
Right. Right.
Oh, I love this. Y'all, any more questions? Here's a question. How do you all cater to each other's love language? Like Nikki, I know you mentioned like Marcel's quality time and physical touch. So you'll be in the room. You have to make a conscious effort.
Every day. Every day. What is surprising is that almost 8 years later, it's still a conscious effort every single day. Like, okay, let me touch him. Let me love on him. Like, are you okay? Because I'm like, back up, bro. We good. Like,
we good. Only you touch me.
Right. And so the thing is with love language, I think there's a misconception when you know someone's love language, it is how they desire to be loved, not how you desire to give them love. How do they receive love? He receives love by physical touch, quality time, us doing even something like this. The other night we on Wednesdays we have Bible study together, and we decided to like Valentine's Day. We had he made a great meal and we played Uno. Like that was the quality time together, right? And so you have to understand how your person desires to be loved. And so for me, just like I said, this is a conscious effort when especially if I'm like on a deadline or doing something with clients and stuff, and I have not done it, I'm like, oh crap. Hey babe, let me close the computer. Hey babe, how you feeling?
Hey.
Yeah, like he needs that. That's how he desires to be loved. And I have to I got to suck it up and do
work hard. You got to work hard, Buttercup. Marcel, what about you?
For Nikki, it's acts of service and words of affirmation.
Right.
I'd let her know how good she's doing. Not even in our home, but God's work. Every day. Tell her about the letters. I write her letters every day before I go to work.
Every single day.
Every day. On my days off, I cook. I'll clean the house. I'll clean the house. I definitely think I'm ahead of the love language for you.
Come on. Look at me smiling like letters.
He does a letter every single day when he has to go to work. Just so I have a little piece, a little reminder. And he's always like, I pray that you have a productive day. And you always signed it off with, I love you and I miss you already. I'm just like, oh, it just like pulls at the heartstrings every time. Right. Right. Again, it all boils down to knowing your partner. How do they desire to be? I love letters. I think I even told you that. Like,
yeah, I like letters in my gifts. I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
And it did not.
And it did not.
It did not. I was like, wow, not even enjoy nothing. It was nothing.
Here, I shipped it. She did tell me that, and I did not do it.
She didn't do it. I love letters. But he knows that, right? He knows, like, I know what he likes. And it's just knowing your partner and then delivering, whether you like it or not. I don't want to always be touched. I don't want to do all the, like, you stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. We come together when we come together. But it's a sacrifice. It's a, what do you call it? A sacrifice wasn't the word I wanted to say.
Compromise?
Compromise. Thank you. It's a compromise.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to compromise in any place. And just to make it in the world, you have to compromise.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. And it seems like you all have this great rhythm, and this time around, second time around. Like the good time around. And I'm really happy that you all get to experience it. You know what I mean? Because if you weren't willing, you would not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so y'all tell us what y'all got going on. Thank you for sharing your story of redemption, but tell us what you got going on. Y'all got going on.
What we got going on, babe?
YouTube.
We have a brand new YouTube channel. It is called Renewed Love. It is up. There is no video posted. It's actually uploading as we speak.
It'll be up tonight.
I'm sorry. I looked at the chat. Let me turn it on.
That's it. Don't look at
I'm
the
so
chat.
sorry. I'm sorry. We have coaching and counseling services that are available at renewlove.co. I have a freebie. We did a freebie for your audience. It is a prayer prompt guide or prayer prompt journal with a few prompts on different categories like growth, communication, unity, love, etc. So hopefully you guys will download that.
It will be in the chat shortly. The link will be in the chat shortly.
And we are Renewed Love on TikTok and Instagram. So if you guys follow me from my last live with Dr. B, I just switched everything over. So you're still there. But it is Renewed Love, and Dr. B has all of our links and stuff. But yeah, so our story goes in more detail with our very first video over on YouTube. It is currently, like I said, loading right now. So it'll probably be up by the time y'all get up tomorrow.
Are y'all, so we have a question in the chat. It came through late. It says, what did you discuss before walking down the aisle either time? Like finances, home, children, when others get sick, etc.
Oh, that's such a great question. I don't think we sat down and had those type of conversations. It was discussed over time. Like, we both love kids. Like, okay, cool, kids. Like, we were both never taught about finances, so that's something that we have learned together.
Hard way sometimes.
Right. What else was it? Finances, home. Yeah, I think in our sharing of our dreams and our what we expected for our lives as we grew up or matured and things of that nature, those type of conversations came out. Like, we didn't just sit at the table. It was organic. Let me just say it like that. It's just organic. Like, hey, like, I like this type of house. What do you think? Like, and we have often done that, and we still do. That is one of our favorite pastimes. We will go visit a new build and be like, oh, I would take this and I would do this. So maybe that's a fun date idea where you get to learn more about your partner in that process. What do they like? What's their style? What type of house they want? They want a ranch, they want a 2-story, they want a 5-bedroom, they want 3-bedroom, things like that. So it wasn't something where we just kind of sat and let's talk about. It was very natural, very organic, things you discuss in the dating process.
And then even now it comes up randomly, like, oh, this isn't that, you should do this. Yeah.
We watch a lot of YouTube, so we'll see house hunting shows and things like that. And I'm like, I would change this. And he'd be like, no, I like that. So you get to learn that person's style and things like that. So, or just learning about finances, connecting with Dr. B and just even in our own stuff, Wall Street Trap, learning about crypto and stocks and bond and all of these things we're learning together. So yeah. I hope that answered your question, Janae. Hey, girl. Hey, my
Yeah.
fellow moderator. Hey,
I know.
Vanessa.
I know, because sometimes we think we're gonna like tackle everything and like
You
make
No.
can't. It's not possible. You know, things come up. You never know.
Yeah. I think the important things should be discussed. Like if your partner's broke and you got some money, you probably need to have a conversation. Like, what we doing here?
I ain't saying
Like,
you
we
can't.
just need to have a conversation. But a lot of things just happen organically. Like, did you grow up? You learn if you pay attention to conversations, they'll tell you like, oh, my family and I grew up in a 1-bedroom house and it was 10 of us. Like, oh, okay, so you
Gotta
didn't
pay
you didn't
attention to
come
that.
with money. Yeah, you got to pay attention to certain conversations, and it'll speak for you. You'll know.
Yeah. Well, y'all, this has been lovely. We have 2 minutes left. If y'all have any more questions, please drop them in the chat. The freebie is available in the description as of right now. So go ahead and grab your freebie. Go ahead and follow them on their YouTube page and all of the TikTok and Instagram, all the things. Because I think that, what was really fascinating was that even though y'all have been married 8 years, this is the first time y'all about to step out together in this way.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
that is the beautiful journey of evolving and becoming one, right? That Nikki, you usually have your thing. We see you, we know you, right? When we talk, I'm like, oh girl, you've been on channel before, they know you. But now we welcoming your husband. We're like, hey, and so it's really amazing that Marcel, you're even willing to step outside of your comfort zone and to say it's not about me, because it's personal. It is your life, but it's
Right.
not about
Right.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are unwilling to adopt that mentality, adopt um that ideology, and say
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it's not about me. I'm going to do whatever's required to help keeping people move along, and so they won't have to go through what we went through. And it's really about, as you move forward, you should be lifting as you climb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100%.
And yes, it takes courage, but the Bible tells us that our life is not our own, and you've been bought with a price. And so if God is saying, hey, this is the time we need you to do this thing, he's saying, this is the time for you to do this thing, because
Right.
there's weight on it. And I want to just commend both of you for being willing to step out together in such a vulnerable way, because I know it's not easy sharing your story. I know it's not easy being vulnerable, but the beauty of the journey is not in the just the hard places that y'all stayed in, but the fact that y'all overcame, and your Bible tells you you're more than an overcomer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you all are living like as a visual proof, as social proof, that if you want to be more than an overcomer and more than a conqueror, you can be. And now God is literally about to, I don't know, okay? God is about to take
Come
y'all.
on and prophesy.
I'm over here trying to hold
What are you doing, girl? Come on and prophesy, baby. Give us some encouragement, okay?
It's been walking up on me a lot lately.
Come on, Jesus, do it.
But just really, not only take the trust to another level, not only just take the intimacy to another level, but take the marriage itself to another level. Like the marriage will be the boat, if we could say that. And it won't be there. So, oh, we're married, but we're doing all these other things. No, the marriage will be the boat that the other things come inside of. That's what I'm kind of seeing. And that everything else will coast on top of the union and the ideal, whatever this ministry is that y'all are building, everything else will be inside of that thing. And so I just want to go ahead and commend you all for just being willing to build the boat and share the boat and let people see the boat, right? But also stay in the sanctity of you all's marriage. It's going to be a wild ride, but it's going to be fantastic. Thank you for letting me be one of the first people before y'all get real big, to share y'all story on my platform. I appreciate it.
Amen.
Thank you all so much. Y'all, did y'all enjoy this story? I mean, baby, I almost cried a few times, but I said I will not cry my eyelashes out today. It's not gonna happen. But I love it. It's so encouraging. It's so encouraging. It's so thought-provoking, and it's so, it causes you to reflect on yourself, not just on the other person, not on, what could happen, but what are these internal conversations that are happening that I may be unwilling to partner with God, even if it's in the love story that I need, even if it's me coming together with someone I may need for the future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me stop playing. Let me get off this, y'all. We have enjoyed the Gillespies. Thank you all so much. Go follow everything that they have going on. They're going to be dropping their new marriage story. It's going to be way more detailed than this one, y'all. So kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Get your popcorn.
For sure.
Renewed Love, is that the YouTube name?
Yes, the Renewed Love. It's not a 50-part series. It's about an hour, but y'all in for a treat. Just letting you know.
Okay. But yeah, so y'all, we will be back next week with our last couple been married. I feel like they've been married almost 20 years. In the Faith and Love and Marriage series. And thank you all for rocking with us tonight. It's been fantastic. And I'll talk to y'all soon.
Can we just say we want to publicly say thank you to you as well, ma'am. Thank you for your obedience. I know we've had personal conversations, so I know what you've been going through, and it's not been easy to show up here weekly, several times a week. So all I'm saying, y'all give your girl a shout out, okay? Dr. B be putting in work, okay?
Like the video.
Right, please like the video. Thank you so much for allowing us on your platform. Thank you for being lovers and fans of our marriage and our union and just conversations, like I said, we've had. I just appreciate you. I love you. And I'm super excited to watch God blow you up, ma'am. So thank you.
I receive. All right, y'all.
Amen.
It's real. Good night, good afternoon, good morning. Catch the replay, watch the replay, share this with a friend who may be struggling in their relationship, contemplating divorce, whatever the case may be. They don't have to give up. Let this testimony serve as proof that there is always more if you're willing to go, if both people are willing to go the next mile. So thanks for joining us, y'all. We will see you on, what's today, Thursday, Sunday, on the podcast as we wrap up our Unstoppable series and head on into March. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all. Say goodbye to the Gillespies. All right, y'all. Nikki, I'll hit you up.